Good evening. My name is Neil Gang, and I'm here to discuss something that's been in the news a lot lately, and also in current events. And that is the decision for the police to start utilizing the body-worn cameras. Now, there are three main points that I'd like to discuss today and kind of challenge your thinking a little bit. One of the challenges is federal funding, which is being released, enough to really make a difference in what law enforcement in America needs to do today? The second point is, what about privacy rights? Where do we lie in the privacy rights? What's our Constitution tell us? And what's our state constitution tell us that we can and can't do when recording a second party, And the other part is there really proof that these cameras are going to change behavior? Or are people trying to get us to believe that putting a camera on somebody is going to change their mindset, change their behavior, and make them more professional? Well, that's what we're here to discuss today. So depending on where you lie on that side of the road, whether you think they're good for law enforcement or you're not impressed with their capabilities, there's a couple of things that are important to understand. One, the Wall Street Journal talks about Obama releasing $75 million for 50,000 cameras for police to be utilized. Now, if you think about that, is that a good use of our funds? Isn't there something else we can use $75 million towards? And then if you look at that, if there's 750,000 law enforcement officers, is 50,000 going to really do any justice? Is that really going to make a dent in what goes on? Well, there are proponents saying that $75 million can be utilized elsewhere. Why not use $75 million to educate the officers, train them, have them go to cultural diversity type classes, have them go to sensitivity type classes. So there is some argument of whether or not that $75 million is really going to do what we expect it to do, or is it just a short little cover to say, hey, we're throwing some money towards this, we realize it's a problem, and this is the way we're effectively going to address this problem. Now, the camera's going to do that, or the education and training be a better course of action for that? Now, law enforcement would have you believe that these cameras are the savior. You know, the Rialto, California did a study. They're putting out that 87% of their citizen complaints were reduced in a 1-year time period. They're also going to tell you that 59% reduction in use of forces. Well, I'm going to challenge you, and I'm going to ask you is, don't your behaviors automatically change when you're on camera? I mean, if you have someone come up to you and you're acting inappropriately and they have a camera in front of you, don't you immediately stop anyway? So are we changing the mindset of law enforcement officers, or are we just changing the behavior because they're on camera, they don't want to get caught? So we have to look at those type of things. And if you really get into the study that was given in Rialto, California, is that this was done with one group. There was approximately 54 officers that were given the cameras, and this is where they saw the reduction. However, they have over 100 officers, and they were not given cameras. So I think it's a little biased. I think they're trying to make us believe that this little device is what's going to change law enforcement in society today. So have they proven that there is a change of behavior anywhere? I've yet to see it. However, if you look back and see that there's been dash cams, which are the cameras on the patrol vehicles, in effect for years, a decade now. But yet we still have these problems. We're still having the Fergusons. We're still having the unarmed suspects getting shot. So did the dash cams change anything? I'm here to offer you that when you're in that environment and when the adrenaline's going, you're not thinking about the camera. So to say that camera is what's going to change behaviors and change people from officers' use of force and reduction, those type things, just makes you think. We've had dash cams for how many years, yet we're still having these type of problems in society. So I think the cameras clearly show they're unproven, they're a new device, yet I think that they're supplemental to the training and the education. However, that device in itself is not going to be the conclusion of changing the behaviors, nor will it be reducing incidents such as Ferguson. Now, being that they're unproven, I think really the way to change behavior is through education and training, and not just by handing an officer a piece of a camera to stick on his uniform. Now, don't get me wrong, I think that will do a good job of raising awareness, but if you really want to change behavior, let's educate our officers, let's get into sensitivity training, and let's get into some cultural diversity so they really can understand the mindset and understand the people that they're dealing with on a daily basis. Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a good night.